Hey everyone, it's Jade here. I am going to be bringing you 100 days of vision as we count down to the 2020 election. I was going to say presidential election, but it's not just the presidential election. It's bigger than that. And we are here to exist to make sure that you have a powerful option. So come on in, come on in. I'm not going to do a lot of answering of questions during the live. I will come back and really reach out to many of you and answer your questions. We wanted to make sure that these were succinct moments that I could speak vision into your life, into your heart, and also give you more clarity on not only who I am, what's most important. Listen, don't get caught up in who your leaders want you to see them, how they want you to see them. Get caught up in the vision that they have, not only for the nation, but the vision that they have for you. I was looking for my sunglasses. Apparently they're on my head. Good to know. So this is just the time here for me to share vision with you. I say 100 days. We're less than 100 days out, so I'm probably going to come live a couple of times today and tomorrow to catch up. But we wanted to make sure that as people start to find us, thank God, as people start to find us, as the walls begin to come down, as the cracks are busting through the dam here, and as the flood gets ready to pick up, we want to make sure that people are able to find out what our vision for this nation is. So hello, 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 come on in, love the hearts. Listen, all the support you've been showing me, some of you just discovered we were here in the last 24, 48, 72 hours. We thank you for diving in so quickly, for doing your due diligence. Don't be fooled by the melanin. Don't be fooled by the gender. Don't be fooled by the fancy words. Make sure you do your homework. See where I stand on the issues and see if it resonates with your voice. We want you to have a powerful choice. And we believe the biggest part of our vision going forward must include perseverance. We must be a nation that perseveres, that does not give up. For the last 7 months, there's not a day that goes by that someone doesn't tell us to go sit our behind down somewhere, to shut up, stop talking, to exit stage left. One lady said, hey, why don't you go run the PTA or something? Listen, you better go run the PTA. If you want to have an impact on your schools and your communities, you better run the PTA. But don't you dare tell someone to start small when the problem in front of us is big. Perseverance is going to be huge. I'm going to give you 2 ways as a nation that we must commit now to persevering. Listen, where jobs are concerned, we're going to have to persevere into the new year, into 2021, and make sure that we're not just putting people back to work. Here's the bad news. Many of the jobs that existed before COVID-19 will not be there. You'll learn very quickly, I am not a person who prophesies doom and gloom. I see the silver lining at all times, but we also have to be real and keep it real so that we can offer real solutions. There will not be the same amount of jobs. So a big part of leadership going into the future, in order for us to persevere and have people push through this moment, you don't want them to push through this moment to find there's nothing for them on the other side. We're going to have to create jobs. Create them. 2 ways that I want to talk about creating jobs really quickly. We're going to have to repatriate many American companies who are doing the bulk of their manufacturing abroad. That work is not going to American workers. We are not the manufacturing center that we should be. We must become now a producer nation. The rest of the world should be turning to us for resources. When we are in our greatest time of need, when we are suffering from COVID-19, we should never have to turn to China or Mexico to get our own PPE. I'm gonna let that sit for a second. In our greatest time of need, we should never have to go to other nations to get what we need. I want us to be a place that not only can our own people depend on us, but I want other nations now, this is perseverance here, to be able to come to us in their time of need. And guess what? We're not only blessed by being able to serve them, we profit from it. It's not a bad word, guys. Profit is not a bad word. We should be able to serve as a source and a resource, and I think that our economy could benefit from us creating an industry that I called ongoing emergency preparation. We're going to have to build jobs, new jobs. What that means is not only are our American companies going to have to come back home, since we bailed them out, they should probably bail us out too. You ever thought about that? Since we bailed them out more than once now, don't forget about 2008, they're going to have to bail us out too. So perseverance, if we're telling people to pull themselves up by bootstraps, we got to first make sure they have them. So if they're going to persevere now, we have to do things like raising the minimum wage that's been $7.25 since 2008, 2009. You show me one thing in your home You show me a car or a house that's been the same price since 2009. And then I'll tell you minimum wage doesn't need to change. You're not going to find that example. So we're going to have to persevere by helping people be able to push through, not just to the same old thing they had before, but push through into something new. Second thing we're going to have to do with jobs is we're going to have to build new jobs by way of our public health system. I've been saying for months now, there's about 30,000 new jobs that could instantly be created by way of testing and tracing. I don't like to say I told you so, but here's a moment where we have to be real. I've been saying for months now that we reopened carelessly, we reopened too soon. I make the bulk of my revenue from being open. I need to be in front of thousands of people in crowded convention centers in order for my company to profit. Yet here I was still saying we're opening too soon. What does that mean? We're already open now, right? No need to cry over spilled milk, but what that means is we have to go back, we have to backtrack now and build in testing and tracing. Unfortunately, because we didn't do the hard thing of staying shut down and allowing COVID to pass, because we've been reactivating this virus, what that means is testing and tracing will probably be a big part of our future for years to come. Good news, silver lining, that's a whole new job industry of testing and tracing. You can create about 30,000 new jobs in our public health system. I believe we can put people back to work who lost their jobs during COVID by way of teaching them how to be our testers and our tracers. I believe companies are going to require now, when you get hired, you're going to have to be tested for COVID. You're going to have to be traced to make sure you weren't just asymptomatic. These are going to be real parts of our society moving forward. Those are real jobs. So I think we have to prepare now for that. That's how we persevere. We don't persevere by pretending that things are just going to magically go back to normal. All right, so perseverance is going to be huge. I can tell you stories for days of how our campaign has had to persevere. You're looking at the product of perseverance. Had we stepped back when naysayers told us to leave, had we exited stage left, had we sat down when people told us to do so, you would not know that we were here. We had to stay standing. We believe that how we are behaving is the model for how our country must behave. We must stay standing. Do not sit down in the face of this virus. Do not sit down in the face of this racial unrest. Do not keep silent. Do not think of yourselves as powerless. I tell you, every time one person shares what we're doing, that's power being shared. That's power being poured into the lives of others. Last area of how we must persevere. In this moment, we are in a historic moment of racial tension. Sounds crazy. I see incredible opportunity to be more unified than ever before. We have universal buy-in the world over. People have been linking arms. You got companies speaking out with their statements of solidarity. Listen, here's what we got to persevere through though. If we're not careful, we'll stay in a phony state of symbolism. I said it. If we're not careful, we'll stay in a phony state of symbolism. We must persevere through this Band-Aid moment into real reform. I don't hear anybody talking about check and qualified immunity right now. I don't hear anybody really talking about serious policing reform. I don't hear anybody talking about crisis prevention, right? Partnerships with law enforcement, looking for ways to get rid of the problems in law enforcement. That can't be a trendy conversation that has a few hashtags and disappears. We must persevere now through a season of symbolism into an era of paradigm shifts and reform. So those are a couple of the ways that we must persevere. We must be a nation of resilience, a nation of perseverance. That's just day one, y'all. I'll probably come back to you again tonight, maybe 2 times tomorrow as well. And then every day from here on out, we're bringing you 100 days of vision so that you can find out for yourselves, not just how I see the nation, but how I see you. Ask your leaders, how do you see me? When you look at me, what do you see? Do you only see color? Do you only see gender? Or do you see a human being deserving of a life that is plentiful, prosperous in many different ways, a life that is happy and secure, and a life that has real liberty built into it? That's how you want your leaders to see you, as worthy of having all of those things, whether or not you vote red or blue, or you're black or you're white, or you use these man-made labels, which I dare you to shed, progressive and conservative and liberal. Listen, we're all a little bit of that stuff. If you're human, you're plaid, okay? You're not one color. You're plaid, you're polka dotted, all that good stuff. Operation Restoration is here to serve all of the people all of the time. But we dare to unapologetically be champions for groups that have been either historically underserved, groups that have been ignored, groups that have been overlooked, and groups that are constantly at the bottom. We aim to move into a season now where we can persevere together into a new era. That's what we're all about. Learn more at operationrestoration2020.com. I will be, whose show? I'm on someone's show tomorrow. Damien, we're on a show together tomorrow at 12:30 CST. It's in the feed there on Instagram. I'm excited to answer your questions there. Many of you wanted to know about plans for Black America. Those of you who want to know about Black America, I want you to also be curious about my plans for all of America. Those of you who are curious about my plans for all of America, I want you to dig into my plans for Black America and Native America, and immigrants and small business owners and mental health awareness. Whatever you think you care about, I dare you for one day. Go away from your hot button issue and dare to care about issues that are also important to other people. That is how we persevere into something new. I hope this hits home for you. Oh, look at the little naysayers there. Listen, for all the naysayers, let me tell you how we pray for you. We pray that the small-mindedness in which you profiteer will not even be the thing that holds you back, but that no matter how many people are watching you, whether it's 33 views or 33 million, that you stick with it, that you speak life and not death, that you dare to support others even when you don't feel supported. Let me tell you, we're not going anywhere. We thank you, those of you who have just hung in there with us, and that now this is our time, not to shine, but to shine a light on what this nation needs and to shine a light on the people who need it. So we're excited about it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Looking back at your comments here so I can answer anything really quickly. I see lots of hearts. We love you back. We take this thing very seriously, so know that if you're just now finding us, it's not because we were chilling out somewhere. We've been here for at least 7 months now, and we've been serious. So thank you for your well wishes. Thank you for being happy for us. I want you to be happy for yourself. I want you to look at what we're doing and see if you can see yourself being served. Thank you, Chris. We believe that, listen, we know we wouldn't be here without the help of God. This is something that is not a choice so much as a mandate and a marching order. And we're trying our best to be obedient to those marching orders. That's all right. Listen, some of the people doing the hardest things, Supreme are underrated, unknown, until they're not. So we're sticking around until the dam breaks. There need to be some government incentives. We get it. Incentives are going to be key. If you go, Chris Jr., the barber, to operationrestoration2020.com, you'll hear me say that word incentive a lot. We are a reward-based society. No need in fighting that. So a lot of our programs, policies, and proposals talk about how you build rewarding into system, because it's going to be key. People will have to be highly motivated to do new things. So you'll see that in many of our programs, especially our economic programs, and especially what we're asking of corporate America. Okay? All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll probably come back and respond to some of your comments as well. Stay connected. If you have questions, I do my best to answer them directly, personally, myself, usually in the wee hours of the night. But we're bringing you 100 Days of Vision. I hope this hit home. Share it if you believe in the vision that we're offering. We're asking people to come out of their corners that they've been stuck in out of fear, and to dare now to vote based on what really resonates with their heart. Don't just vote to get something out of office. Don't just vote to keep something out of office. Vote this time around to put something powerful in that you believe in. All right. Love you guys. Talk soon.